Jeff Sessions, we gotta talk, my brother. Let's wait about 30 seconds for people to get into the live stream. What's going on, everybody? As always, you can follow me on Instagram at Dream Rare. That's at DREAM RARE, Dream Rare. You can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. That song I just played is called Bob Ross, and my name is Anomaly, spelled AN0MALY. So Bob Ross, it's on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, whatever. My website, legendary.vision. My podcast, Rare Talk Podcast. My shirts are on dreamrare.com. And I'm going to wait about 10 more seconds for people to get into the live stream. And this is my pitch to Attorney General Jeff Sessions. And that pitch is very, very simple. I'm going to talk about the benefits to the plant. That's correct, it's a plant, cannabis. And I want to just say, leave marijuana alone. I think it's time to let the people decide, let the states decide, and to realize that fighting a plant and categorizing a very helpful, a very beneficial, a God-created plant is completely unnecessary. And just give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I just wanted to close my screen real quick just in case any of my neighbors were like Jeff Sessions, big Jeff Sessions fans, and they're like, oh, who's talking about that? Well, first of all, I just want to talk about what's actually happening as opposed to what, everyone's going to say all this stuff that's not true. Like always, one thing happens and then everyone screams and screeches. So here's exactly what was said. He put out a one-page memo, and one of the quotes from that memo is, given the department's well-established general principles, previous nationwide guidance specific to marijuana enforcement is unnecessary and rescinded effective immediately. So this draws back an Obama-era federal policy, and in that time, during the Obama era and until now, and probably past now, legal marijuana has thrived here in Los Angeles, California, and all over the state of California. It's thrived in Colorado. I believe it's in Seattle or Washington. It's legal. I'm not really sure. You'll have to correct me on that if I'm wrong. But there was basically a rollback on federal overreach, because before that, and even possibly during the Obama era, the states would make moves and federal overreach would come through. They would sometimes close down certain facilities and whatnot. And since then, it's been a lot more lax. And I think that's okay, because I think we've learned that the war on drugs just doesn't work. And if we're going to have a true war on drugs, we should not be categorizing a plant, cannabis. And let me, before people, regardless of what you think of the plant cannabis, first of all, it's beautiful. If you've ever looked at it, if you've ever smelled it, it's a beautiful plant. It's literally a plant. It has so many different elements to it. There's hemp seeds and hemp oil. A lot of these are health products. You eat them. You can, put them in foods and whatnot. And they have all sorts of vitamins, and nutrients for the body. So hemp is healthy to eat in the right ways. There's elements of hemp that can be used for clothing, that can be used for construction materials. So when you talk about the fact that we're devastating large portions of the oceans with plastic, hemp is a huge remedy for that, because it is a biodegradable object and it can be used for a lot of the things that plastic is used for. The only problem is, you can make more with plastic. The only reason plastic is so popular is because it's easy to manufacture. It's terrible for water. I mean, you want to talk about water quality, no matter what you're buying, including myself, if we're buying it in a plastic bottle, it's possibly been in the sun. You have the plastic chemicals mixing with the water. That's why they say drink water out of glass bottles if you can, or get your own filter. Hopefully I'll be having some to share with you guys here soon. I might partner with a water filter company, because that's one of the things I love is water. And hemp can be used for so many other things. And back to the plant cannabis, CBD it's a part of the plant that is not even hallucinogenic or not a drug in that sense. It helps people with seizures. It's good for your muscles and joints. It's a medical product that is sold in large portions of California and all over the place. So there's nothing about this plant that's any worse than any of the terrible pharmacy drugs that they push down our throats all the time, to the point where our opioid deaths and our pharmacy pill deaths far exceed police brutality, which everybody talks about, times 10,000, 100,000. Far exceeds even car crash deaths in the peak of car crash deaths before we had, better safety guidelines within our own vehicles. Some reports say that our pharmacy pill. So the real war on drugs should be the war against the pharmacy industry and these corrupt politicians, which is basically all of them, who take money from the pharmacy industry to pass the laws that they want. And I'm sure that they don't want marijuana to be passed, not because it's healthy for people, not because it's helpful for people, but because it's truly an incredible plant that can destroy a lot of their plastic and pill industries that they dominate and make billions off, basically making people sick and then giving them the not so much cure and stringing them along. So every American strung out on 3 or 4 pharmacy pills. And I'm not saying you have to smoke or eat or digest hemp, cannabis, and marijuana. That's your choice. That's your freedom as a human being. And I think it's the state's right to decide. Is Jeff Sessions going to make a move on it? I don't know. But the fact that he put that wording out there, does it sound like he wants to? Absolutely. And I just want to say to Jeff Sessions, and even to a lot of conservatives or Trump supporters, this type of stuff, this is why young people and a lot of, trendy people, the hip hop community, the hipster community, for lack of a better term, the liberals and whatnot, this is why, a large portion of why nobody ever listens to people, and why I'm unfortunately one of the only people that can get through, because you have to talk to people the right way. Whether you agree with them or not, there are a few things that a lot of young people, a lot of young women, young men care about, and even if their priorities in a lot of ways, in my opinion, might be a little twisted, if you just scream at them, oh, you guys are stoners, smoking weed, blah, 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 no one's going to listen. It's the same thing with abortion. I don't even want to get into that right now, but if you have a conversation and explain in a polite way why you disagree with abortion, it's a lot more effective than just being on Twitter and Facebook screaming, baby killers, baby killers, baby killers. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with you. We'll have a discussion in another time, but that's just not an effective way to handle the situation. And when it comes to marijuana, I just don't think it's that big of a deal that federal outreach needs to come in on it, because I think it's so much more beneficial than almost every single pill they put out. I think it's so much more beneficial than alcohol. I mean, compare the amount of alcohol overdose deaths to marijuana overdose deaths. It's in the millions to 0. And I'm not here to be like other stoners and other marijuana users and say, weed has no bad effects. There's no possible way weed does anything bad. It's perfect. I'm sure it's not perfect. I know it's not good for your throat. To inhale smoke is probably not great for your throat. Anything in moderation, or not in moderation, is not healthy for you. Weed, marijuana, for some people, it raises anxiety, it raises fear, it raises paranoia. For some people, it has the opposite effect. You need to know yourself and understand who you are as a person, rather than dictate and judge other people for what they do. If they drink coffee, alcohol, marijuana, know yourself and know your limits and know what you want in life. But to do this, I think it's just so weak. And especially what really upsets me about this, more than anything, is Jeff Sessions has been very lackadaisical and very slacking on the Clinton corrupt mafia and a lot of the ridiculous things that they did. I mean, she smashed 7 or 8 like cell phones and devices, and all these classified emails were on another server. They're on Huma Abedin's boyfriend's server, who's now getting convicted for being a sexual predator, whatever. So those are my questions. Like, why does Hillary why is her house estate burning? You know, did she think C stood for charcoal, so she burned all the evidence, or does she understand it's classified? This is the type of stuff that I want to see Jeff Sessions focusing on. Does he really care about lives and mental health? Because marijuana is just truly not the problem. And in my opinion, letting the states decide, and if it's so be it, if it's legal, it adds so much more money to the state. It adds so many more industries and companies. And now there's no excuse for illegal, drug dealings and whatnot. Of course, there's still stuff going to happen, but if you legalize it, you take away that dark market that has no taxes, that has no oversight, that has no state and federal oversight, and that leads to more crimes. That leads to more convictions. I want the murderers and the pedophiles and the people that are raping, like literally physically raping people, I want them to be in prison. I want the politicians who are killing hundreds of millions of people across the world to be held accountable. I want, the politicians who are taking tens of millions, if not billions of dollars from the pharmacy industry, knowing damn well the products that they're promoting in Congress are killing millions of people per year. These are the people that I want to see held accountable by Attorney General Jeff Sessions. I don't want to see him focusing on marijuana, and I think it's incredibly weak timing, because today he said he reopened the emails into the Hillary Clinton email investigation. So why would you do that? That, to me, that would be a bombshell story, but now nobody's going to care about it. Of course, conservatives are going to care, but that's not the point. We already know conservatives and some progressives and some liberals who are actually paying attention, and some, libertarians and Green Party and people who don't have affiliations, they know about this stuff, but we don't want to sit in a circle, because if we sit in a circle of like-minded people, we're no different than anybody else. We want other people to understand, and doing something like this is totally not beneficial, because this is such a headline thing. Everybody who already hates Trump and Jeff Sessions are going to see this and be like, oh my God, they're trying to do this and that to weed. So I just really don't understand it, especially for all the reasons that I said before. Hemp seed oil, hemp, cannabis, between CBD oil and even THC. I don't know how many marijuana users are not. I'm not a doctor. I'm not, anything. I'm not promoting anything, but the actual drug in comparison to alcohol, if you drink a lot of alcohol, sometimes you can't drive, you become incapable of making decisions. You smoke a lot of marijuana, you might take a nap or overthink things for 4 or 5 hours. In comparison, it's just not a big deal. I think people should be able to choose. It might make you think about things you never thought of before, and be a little kinder and drive a little slower. Like, it's one of the most lax drugs out there, especially in comparison to the stuff that they legally give to kids. You want to talk about Adderall? I've taken Adderall in college. They tried to prescribe it to me when I was younger, and my mom said, he's not retarded. Might be a little bit aggressive, and some people might even find offense to that, but I'm very grateful that my mom had the ability to step in and say, there's nothing wrong with my son, that he's not, if you look up the definition of retardation and retarded, it's not an offense to anybody with a mental or physical illness. It literally means the process of slowing down. It's what the definition of the word means. So I know there's going to be people offended, whatever. She's just like, there's nothing wrong with him. He's creative. He's a little weird or whatever. He doesn't need Adderall. I took this stuff in college. Adderall is like 8 hours of cocaine, and they give that to like 10-year-olds. You want to talk about disgusting drug addicts? Look at who owns Adderall and Ritalin. It's cocaine that lasts for 10 hours. Oh, you don't like school because nobody likes school? Here, eat some Ritalin and Adderall pills. Oh my God, I love everything. And then afterwards, you're going through like psychological problems. You can't eat. You're sweating. Adderall is a crazy drug, and it's insane to me that they give that to children. And then they want to talk about marijuana. They have drugs like salvia. That's legal. If anybody has tried salvia legally, it's a legal drug, at least, in New Jersey, I know it was. It's the dumbest drug ever. I can't think of a stupider drug. You inhale it, you stare at a wall for 15 minutes, and you feel like your feet are attached to the floor, and then afterwards you're like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, literally. And that's a legal plant. Meanwhile, a plant that can be used The seeds and flowers can be used for diet and health benefits. In another form, it can be used to build sails and ships and all sorts of building material and clothes. CBD oil literally cures people that have uncontrollable seizures and can't move, and they digest or inhale a little bit of CBD, and they're like, oh my God, my kid was cured from what medicine can't do. Of course they were, because it's an amazing plant. Jeff Sessions, I mean, what's your deal? Research marijuana. Research cannabis. It's not a big deal. Do I think it's the greatest thing ever in the world and that I'm telling everybody to go smoke weed? No, that's not what I'm saying if you're listening to me. But on the scale of everything going on in the world and everything, it's literally medicine. Literally. It's literally clothes. It's literally a health product. I mean, when ingested in the right way, and even at its craziest form, it's still probably not that bad. I mean, me in general, it's heightens creativity. Sometimes it heightens paranoia and anxiety. I think it's definitely not good for your throat in mass quantities, especially when paired with papers or wraps. But on the scale of how bad is it, not that bad. So it's one thing if Jeff Sessions was prosecuting all of the past politicians who started wars that killed 100 million people and continue to try to invade people's country and use the media, spending billions of dollars of money to convince people to want to go to war. Those are the criminals. The people that are literally, start like working with cartels and funding and using taxpayer dollars to, heighten and increase the power of terrorist organizations. Those are the criminals, Jeff Sessions. These are the people you want to go at, not the people that are using marijuana or attempting to create a business around cannabis in any sort of form. They're not criminals. It's not worth your time. And it's just such foolish time, in my opinion, to unveil this, because nothing has been done about all of the ridiculously corrupt things, including the Russia investigation, where they've literally successfully used the media, fake documents that they've paid for, fake accusations, fake connections between people involved in the organization and other politicians to create a year-long witch hunt, which has mentally and spiritually damaged our entire nation and divided us unlike anything before, while wasting millions of dollars. That's a crime. To me, that's a crime. That's a drug. Watching the news is a drug, and then they'll sell you some terrible drug that's 1,000 times worse than the cannabis plant. I'll see you, Chris. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. I saw your comment. Thank you for joining. I don't understand what he's doing. A lot of people are saying Trump should fire Jeff Sessions. I mean, I don't know about that yet. He hasn't done anything like in the physical sense, but if he continues this war on drugs, it's been so unsuccessful over the years. After 40 years of the war on drugs, what do we have? We have the most terrible drugs in the United States, legal, and we have the most rampant drug problem in the world. Food is a drug. What's in our food? Why is McDonald's an American staple? That's something that United States created. Everywhere else in the world, you go and eat McDonald's, and it's like luxury. The meat is better, the bread is better, the fries are better. Only in the United States is McDonald's low quality, and it's made in the United States. Why is our exported company that everyone enjoys better quality in every other part of the country? It's because we've weaponized food. You want to talk about a drug, Jeff Sessions? Look at the FDA. And why is the FDA the FDA? Food and Drug Administration, why is food and drugs in the same category? Because when used improperly, food is a drug. And I've heard no words about that. The FDA is a massive cartel. The pharmacy industry is a massive cartel. Past politicians were literally working with cartels overseas and here. That's a crime. Not marijuana use and legalized marijuana. And I don't want to hear for people that are like, Anamli, you don't say what I want you to say. Too bad. I say what I want to say. I listen to everyone, but if I don't agree with you, I don't agree. I'm sorry. But for those people, this is one thing that I think liberal California and other liberal elements of other places got right with marijuana. Leave it up to the states. Leave it up to the people. Stop attacking it so much. You're fighting a plant. I mean, don't we have better things to do than to fight something that grows in the ground? It's ridiculous. So that's my thought. Jeff Sessions, focus on the Clintons, focus on the Obamas, focus on Trump, focus on foreign countries, focus on the military-industrial complex, focus on the Food and Drug Administration, focus on big pharmacy, focus on the disgusting pills that we're legally shoving down our kids' throat, like Adderall, which is 8 hours worth of cocaine for your 10-year-old who doesn't want to sit through school, because no one intelligent wants to sit through school, because it's basically just like an indoctrination cubicle where we sit there and learn a bunch of stuff that we never need to know. You don't teach us about taxes. You don't teach us about health insurance. You don't teach us about how to own a home or mortgage. You don't teach us about pretty much anything. So we don't need Adderall. We don't need cocaine. We don't need Xanax. We need an attorney general that's going to focus on the real criminals and the real terrible elements of the drug industry. I agree, drugs are a problem, but marijuana is not killing people in masses. It's the pills. It's opioids. It's pills like Xanax. They killed pills like that killed someone I know close. They killed a rapper recently. They're killing kids who follow these rappers who are like, yeah, take Xanax and take pills. That's like literally half the rappers out now. And then you wonder why everyone's dropping dead. It's because it's being glorified by the same media that acts like they have a moral high ground. These people are disgusting. Someone made a good point recently. I had lunch with a friend yesterday, and they were talking about the Logan Paul thing. If you guys were following it, Logan Paul's a YouTuber who filmed, he took a selfie and filmed, some guy who hung himself in Japan. And then Aaron Paul, the guy from Breaking Bad, was like, "Shame on you. I'm a better person than you are, Logan Paul. I condemn you. You're a big jerk." And said it in an even meter way. And everyone's like, "What a great guy, Aaron Paul." I mean, what has Aaron Paul done? He's played a role on a television show that glorified meth and heroin, or whatever Breaking Bad's about. I don't know. I heard it's a great show. So how do these people have the moral high ground? Your claim to fame is you making meth a household name, is you glorifying meth. And I know people that are like, "Oh man, maybe I could make money and sell meth." That's your effect on the world. These same media corporations that say, "Oh my God, Donald Trump said a mean word and everybody but me is racist." These are the same disgusting people selling crystal meth and cocaine and Adderall and all of these, glorifying all of these terrible drugs and legally selling them through, other names. "Oh, it's not cocaine, it's Adderall, it's for studying." It's cocaine. It's not literally synthetically cocaine, but the effects are like a cocaine that lasts 8 hours and then has very negative effects on your body. So these are, and oh, wow, he condemned Logan Paul. He's such a good guy. No, he glorified meth to tens of millions of people. These people have no moral high grounds. I'm sorry. I'm tired of the BS. Leave marijuana alone, Jeff Sessions, and everyone else that thinks they're such a great person. Stop working with corporations that sell a bunch of terrible pills that kill hundreds of thousands of people every year. Stop rapping about pills that kill hundreds of thousands of kids every year. Half of the rappers out now, you look at their Instagrams, and it's no wonder everyone's dropping like flies. It's because they're killing them with their ridiculously, disgustingly unhealthy mindset and message. So out of this, hopefully something positive comes out. Let's focus on the real drugs that are killing millions of people. Let's focus on ourselves and what we can do to help. And all of these people that act like they have the moral high ground in other situations, the celebrities and whatnot, if you make millions of dollars glorifying meth to the world and pills and all this stuff, why don't you take a large portion of your money, a large portion of your time to explain to people that it's a scripted television show and explain to people what is good, maybe water or sell some healthy products, because the corporations that play all these TV shows, they're selling the most unhealthy things to people. And that's just how I feel. So I'm not on the Sessions train with the marijuana. I think it was very poor timing, extremely poor timing, especially with the Clinton stuff that's out. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really fight reality. Whatever happens, happens. He did that. I said my piece here. But let's focus on the FDA. Let's focus on the pharmacy industry. Let's question why foods and drugs are, reined in under the same category and, have the same oversight. That doesn't seem really right to me. Let's get better food quality, better drug quality, stop attacking plants. The war on drugs didn't work. We have the biggest drug crisis in the United States, in the world, that we've ever had. And we've had the war on drugs going on for 40, 50 years. So let's try a new strategy. God bless you. God bless America. God bless freedom. God bless the world. God bless everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like, the song at the beginning was Bob Ross. Let's make it a heater. I might film a video for it. I might not. You could donate if you would like. I'm going to put my link below if you would like to support the movement. I appreciate you guys so much. It's allowed me to do other things, expand, and have time to do stuff like this. I'm going to make a lot of good videos later this week. I'm also going to post my email link. Look for that below, and also my donation link and my email link is always pinned to the top of my page. So if you ever just want to find it, just go to the top of my page. It's got all that stuff there. And thank you guys so much. Also, I have shirts at dreamrare.com. Dream Rare, just like my Instagram name, dreamrare.com. A bunch of shirts if you would like to grab one and support myself and the movement in the physical realm. I appreciate it. It would be cool. If not, it's all good too. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for conversing with me. And I don't understand all of the couch people. It's not just me. I thought it was because of my couch, but I saw in like a bunch of live streams, there's a bunch of people coming and they keep talking about a couch. They're like, is that your couch? Is this a couch? I don't know what it is. I think it's funny, but it was kind of annoying me today. Either way, much love. We'll talk about a couch some other time, and have a good day.